Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today is a beautiful day to unpack some truly explosive developments. Grab your coffee and settle in because the shadows of the hospital corridors are hiding some incredibly dark secrets right now. Let us dive right into the madness. If you ask me, the biggest mistake a predator can make is confusing a temporary setback with a permanent defeat. Most people think that when a grand, sinister plot gets derailed, the villain simply gives up and walks away. That is a comforting lie we tell ourselves to sleep better at night. The truth? A derailed predator does not stop. They just get sloppy. They get desperate. They trade their calculated patience for reckless speed. We are seeing this exact psychological unraveling happen right in front of our eyes with Hayley. Her meticulously crafted slow burn strategy to inherit a massive $10 million life insurance policy has officially mutated into a frantic, high stakes assassination attempt. And the collateral damage is about to be astronomical. Let us rewind for a second and look at the sheer audacity of this $10 million endgame. Bill established that massive life insurance policy with Hayley as the sole beneficiary, essentially putting a giant golden target on his own back. Hayley, alongside Randy, had it all figured out. Make the death look entirely natural. No messy weapons, no obvious trauma. She opted for a colorless, odorless, virtually untraceable poison. It was supposed to be a slow, elegant descent into the grave, culminating in a tragic but unquestioned demise so she could collect the cash without a single raised eyebrow. But life, or rather a sudden heart attack and a newly implanted pacemaker, threw a massive wrench into those gears. Now, the clock is ticking. And $10 million is hovering just out of reach, mocking her. Here is where the true frustration sets in for our resident Black Widow. You see, executing a flawless murder requires isolation, but Bill is currently surrounded by a fortress of fiercely protective, albeit highly suspicious women. Naomi, Danny, and Kat have formed an unintentional blockade around his hospital bed. Kat is already actively stalking and digging into the suspected affair. Naomi is hovering with her sharp, analytical mind. And Danny is practically chained to that bedside, driven by a messy cocktail of lingering affection and immense guilt from their secret elevator hookup. If you ask me, Hayley is not just fighting Bill's resilient immune system. She is fighting a multi-headed dragon of family members who simply refuse to leave the room. Think about a time you visited a sick relative in the intensive care unit. The sheer exhaustion of sitting in those uncomfortable plastic chairs, the constant parade of nurses checking vitals, the hushed whispers of family members rotating shifts. Now, imagine trying to commit a covert murder in the middle of that circus. It is virtually impossible. Every time Hayley reaches for her purse, a pair of eyes darts her way. Every time she leans over Bill, someone asks if he needs water. The suffocating presence of Danny and Naomi has forced Hayley into a corner, stripping away her control. She cannot use the slow poison anymore because she simply cannot get a moment alone to administer it consistently. She needs a final lethal strike, and she needs it immediately. This brings us to the terrifying pivot in her methodology. The slow burn is dead. The new plan? A fatal overdose. Hayley realizes that the only window of opportunity she has left is the dead of night. When the grueling hours finally break the family's stamina, when Naomi goes home to rest, when Kat's erratic energy burns out, and when even Danny has to step away from her vigil, that is when the hospital transforms. The bustling corridors become silent, echoing hallways, the lights dim. The fortress around Bill crumbles, leaving him completely exposed. Hayley knows this is her one and only shot to secure that $10 million before the family uncovers the truth about her and Randy. Nighttime in a hospital is a completely different world. It is eerie. It is still the kind of quiet that makes you hear your own heartbeat. Hayley waits for this exact atmosphere to make her move. She slips into Bill's room, her demeanor shifting from the doting, concerned wife to the cold, calculating executioner. The final dose of poison is ready. This is the moment she has been agonizing over. Just one quick injection into his medication, and the $10 million is hers. No more hiding. No more pretending to care. Just a flat line, a tearful performance for the doctors, and a very lucrative widowhood. But here is the thing about the night shift. It is never truly empty. Enter Ashley. Still grieving the devastating loss of Derek, Ashley is throwing herself into her hospital work to keep her mind from unraveling. Grief does strange things to a person. It makes you hyper vigilant. It makes you notice the shadows that other people ignore. As Ashley walks the quiet corridors on her night shift, her attention is caught by a strange, creeping movement near Bill's room. It is Hayley, but she does not look like a wife checking on her husband. She looks like a thief. She looks like someone who is about to commit a terrible crime. Ashley's instincts, sharpened by trauma and exhaustion, scream that something is fundamentally wrong. Have you ever watched someone who thinks they are completely alone? Their posture changes, the social mask drops. They move with a strange, deliberate intensity. I remember once seeing a coworker sneaking into a manager's office after hours. They did not just walk in. They glided, their eyes darting left and right, their shoulders tense. That is exactly what Ashley sees in Hayley. It is not the casual stroll of a worried spouse. It is the predatory crouch of a killer. Ashley stops in her tracks, completely hidden in the dim light of the hallway, and watches as Hayley pulls something sinister from her bag. The tension in that room is thick enough to cut with a scalpel. Hayley, believing the coast is entirely clear, retrieves the final lethal dose of the odorless, colorless poison. She approaches the bed. With swift, practiced motion, she injects the deadly serum directly into Bill's medication. The deed is done. She steps back, retreating into the shadows of the room, waiting for the inevitable. She expects a quiet slip into the void. She expects the monitor to gently sound the alarm of a natural, tragic heart failure. But Hayley severely underestimated the resilience of the man lying in that bed, and more importantly, the advanced technology currently keeping him alive. Within moments, the silence of the room is shattered. The poison hits Bill's system, but instead of a quiet fading away, his body rebels violently. His heart rate skyrockets to a terrifying, erratic pace. The newly implanted pacemaker, designed specifically to shock his heart out of dangerous rhythms, detects the catastrophic anomaly. The machine goes absolutely berserk. A piercing, relentless alarm begins to blare, echoing down the empty hallways. Beep, beep, beep. It is not the sound of a peaceful death. It is the loud, chaotic siren of a man fighting for his life. Bill is suddenly teetering on the absolute razor's edge of death, his body convulsing as the pacemaker fights the poison. If you have ever been in an emergency room when a code blue is called, you know that the sound of a failing heart monitor is a sound that burrows deep into your bones. It is a primal trigger that causes instant panic. The sheer volume and urgency of the pacemaker's alarm completely destroy Hayley's illusion of a quiet, natural passing. Instead of slipping away unnoticed, Bill's near-death experience becomes a flashing neon sign demanding immediate medical intervention. The carefully orchestrated assassination has instantly devolved into a loud, messy, undeniable medical crisis. The alarms jolt Ashley from her hidden vantage point. The natural order of the hospital is completely turned upside down. As medical staff scramble in the distance, Ashley bursts into the room, bypassing the chaos on the bed to lock eyes directly with the woman hiding in the corner. The confrontation that follows is nothing short of electric. Ashley does not ask if Bill is okay. She asks what Hayley did. What did you do to his medication before the machine went off? Ashley demands, her voice cutting through the blaring alarms. She points directly at the bag clutched in Hayley's trembling hands. And what exactly is hiding in that bag? This is the exact moment Hayley's entire world threatens to collapse. Ashley is not backing down. She is pressing hard, demanding answers, her eyes burning with suspicion. Hayley, caught completely off guard by this unexpected witness, tries to default to her usual manipulative tactics. She plays the victim. She feigns outrage. She vehemently denies doing anything other than holding her husband's hand. But Ashley is not buying a single word of it. The timing is too perfect. The sneaking, the injection, the immediate cardiac crisis, it all paints a horrifyingly clear picture that Ashley refuses to ignore. When you corner a wild animal, it does not negotiate. It lashes out or it flees. Think of a fox caught in a snare. It will chew off its own leg to escape. Hayley is that cornered fox. She realizes that trying to logically debate Ashley in the middle of a blaring cardiac event is a losing battle. The longer she stays, the more dangerous the situation becomes. She needs to detach and retreat before the doctors arrive and start asking their own questions about the sudden, inexplicable spike in Bill's heart rate. But Ashley drops the ultimate hammer before Hayley can escape. She looks the terrified wife dead in the eye and delivers a chilling ultimatum. Ashley declares that if Hayley does not confess the absolute truth right here, right now, she is taking everything she just saw straight to the family. She vows to tell Danny, to tell Kat, and to tell Naomi. She threatens to expose the sneaking, the syringe, and the bag to the exact group of women who are already actively hunting for a reason to tear Hayley apart. It is a brilliant, devastating tactical move by Ashley. Hayley, however, is a master of survival. She knows that a confession is a guaranteed prison sentence, while a denial leaves room for doubt. So she doubles down. She fiercely denies every single accusation Ashley throws at her, painting Ashley as a grieving, delusional nurse who is misinterpreting a frantic wife's actions. As the medical team finally rushes into the room to stabilize Bill's violently fluctuating heart, the chaos provides the perfect smokescreen. With the doctors focused entirely on saving Bill from the brink of death, Hayley slips out the door, vanishing into the night once things seem stable. So, where does this leave us? Bill is alive, narrowly surviving a lethal dose thanks to his pacemaker and Ashley's interruption. But the $10 million question remains, what happens next? Will Ashley actually go to Danny and Kat with this explosive information? If you ask me, Danny is already a powder keg of guilt and obsession regarding Bill. If she hears that Hayley actively tried to murder him in his hospital bed, we are not just looking at a confrontation, we are looking at an all-out war. Will Naomi's analytical mind connect Ashley's eyewitness account to the mysterious symptoms Bill suffered before? The shadows in this hospital are getting darker, guys. Hayley might have escaped the room, but she left a witness behind. Her perfect, untraceable murder plot is now a messy, botched assassination with an eyewitness who refuses to be silenced. The clock is ticking louder than ever. Hayley is desperate, the family is circling, and Ashley holds the match that could blow this entire $10 million conspiracy to ash. What do you think Hayley's next move will be? Can she silence Ashley before the truth reaches Danny? Stay tuned because the fallout from this night is going to be absolutely legendary.